And for our last story today, let us turn our attention to West Africa. Benin has sentenced two men close to the president to 20 years in prison. This after they were found guilty for plotting to overthrow President Patrice Talon. The accused were arrested in September last year for bribing the presidential guard's head to plan a coup against Talon. Now the sentencing comes at a time when Talon is under fire for tarnishing Benin's image and changing it from a vibrant democracy in a region known for military coups to an authoritarian state. Our next report gets you all the details.
In the West African nation of Benin, a court has sentenced two former allies of President Patrice Talon to 20 years in jail. Their crime: plotting to overthrow the head of the state. Olivier Boko, an influential businessman considered to be Talon's right-hand man, and Oswald Homeky, a former sports minister, have been found guilty of conspiring against the authority of the state. They are also being charged with corruption and forgery by the court for financial crimes and terrorism in the capital city of Cotonou. In addition to the 20-year sentence, the court has also ordered the men to pay $95 million in damages to the Beninese state and has also handed individual fines of $6.8 million each. Now, both these men were arrested in September last year after being accused of bribing the commander in charge of the president's security to carry out a coup. Homeky was caught while allegedly handing over 6 bags of money to the head of the presidential guard. Boko, who expressed his interest in running for the 2026 presidential elections, was arrested separately and accused of being the mastermind behind the coup attempt. Their trial's opening hearing on January 21st had ended in uproar when the Cotonou court ordered the defendants to find a new defense team. This was after their lawyers had stormed out in protest at the makeup of the court, which consisted of 3 judges instead of the usual 5.
After discussing the matter with the clients, we have decided that if there is to be a trial under such conditions I have just described, there is no point in our participation, and this is what forced us to withdraw.
What is the point of a lawyer being present in such a proceeding? And maybe people may not be aware that the presence of a lawyer is to validate a procedure. We understood and said, we cannot validate a procedure that is conducted in violation of the most basic, most evident rules.
Now, Benin has been among the most stable democracies in Western and Central Africa, a region that has seen over 10 coup attempts since 2020. However, opposition leaders and human rights organizations have accused Talon of using the justice system to attack his political opponents after taking office in 2016 and changing electoral rules to enable him to consolidate power in 2021. In August, an online critic of the president, Steve Amusu, was detained and ordered to stand trial on allegations of publishing falsehoods and inciting rebellion. Then, in 2021, opposition politician Rekia Madugu was sentenced to 20 years in jail for complicity in terrorist acts. In the same year, Joel Ivo, another critic of President Talon, was handed a 10-year sentence for undermining state security and for money laundering. This has further led critics to accuse Talon of tarnishing the image of a country once praised for its dynamic and vibrant democracy. But, on his part, Talon has promised not to seek a third term in office in the 2026 election. This is because Benin's constitution limits the number of presidential terms to just 2. He has also vowed to protect the constitution.
No political compromise detrimental to our development will be conceded to please anyone or satisfy any political consensus. Benin is above all else. Democracy and political competition must henceforth be exclusively and absolutely at the service of development. Long live progress, long live Benin.
But will the West African country, which has previously seen a coup attempt in 1977, uphold its democratic ethos in a region that is known for military coups? Only time will tell.
We're calling this show Vantage. We hope you like what we've put together for you. touted as the minimum defense from that video. India's neighbors were the first to send the special edition of Vantage live from the White House throughout the city. Hindu Mandir in we're on our way to Tel Aviv. City measure, but it's also the perfect way to drive.
I don't think that
Prime Minister of Bhutan, Sherin Thagbé. Welcome to
60% of the world's
office. Prime Minister Modi did the iron.
we were actually
What are you doing? How do you like? It's been 1 year since that meeting. Iron bars separate you from the outside. Out the vote effort. Trump had, it says, and at $4.3 trillion. 4.3 300 billion by 2030. That's what we need to tackle climate change.